So, I find your story fascinating because I know that you were behind the scenes and you were writing for a long time, and like a label was sitting on you like morons. I was like, which they do. We hear about this story often with artists, but you just are incredible. And you signed your first record deal. It was 2014, right?
Yep.
But this is your actual debut album.
Yeah.
Which, congratulations. Because I feel like we missed out on a ton of amazing art from you for the last, that was coming from you. As a songwriter, it's an amazing job as well. It's an amazing gift to be able to write a song for other people. But there's a part of me that's like, oh God, I feel like we missed out on so much. And then a part of me is like, I'm kind of glad maybe somebody held back the reins a bit, because maybe this album wouldn't have been what it is. And it's so perfect.
Oh, thank you.
Oh, it's so perfect. So talk about that whole journey to everybody.
So basically, since I was a little girl, it was just plan A. Singer, writer, musician, get there or die trying. There was no plan B. Do you know what I mean?
No,
so
me too.
Right?
Yep.
So it's like, how are we gonna
People
make
are like, what's your plan B? And I go, I guess fail.
Failure.
Yeah.
And yeah, so I think, when you're that young and you want to be a musician and a singer, you think record deal. I need a record deal, right? Mm-hmm. So you just like, oh. And I put pen to paper when I was 17. I was so excited. I was like, oh my God, I've made it. Do you know what I mean? And I really hadn't. And it actually was a really tough 7 years of kind of, I really believe in albums, and I really believe
the story of it.
The importance of a body of work. And I think that's also how you as an artist build a fan base and stuff like that. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I kind of got shooed into kind of doing these kind of really, and not to be mean to my old music, because some of it was quite successful, but it was like dance, pop, EDM vibes that in the UK, people eat up dance music. Yeah,
we love it here as well.
People love the uns-uns.
Yeah, they love the uns-uns.
They love the uns-uns.
So how did you go independent? How did you get out?
Well, I basically hit a breaking point where I was just like, I can't do this anymore. And it's quite deep, and I've done a lot of therapy and taken a lot of time to process it all, because and I think being a woman in the industry, and behind closed doors, just on the worst of days, it's not very pretty. You know what I mean? It's not nice. And there's a lot.
I'm actually very surprised it hasn't hit the music industry like it did the movie.
Proper.
Yeah.
There's a lot of things
really shady
about that.
Yeah. Especially, I don't mean to sound like this, but it's true. It's very hard on women.
And you get out there and you put on the smile.
Yeah.
And you just really literally perform.
You act like it was their idea.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, girl.
Super fun.
We need to talk after this. Yeah.
Oh, I listened to your album and I was like, yes! I was like, but you, in an acceptance speech, you said we need to appreciate songwriters more, which I always say all the time as well. Yeah. Because we're losing a lot of great songwriters because of streaming. I love streaming as much as this person, but people don't make as much money doing that. No. And nobody supports them on the, behind the scenes to be able to live and be a songwriter. Yeah.
I think the really sad thing is, the reality is, people don't actually care about songwriters at all. And you might think that you do, but nobody does. And when I say songwriters, I'm not talking about artists. Everyone cares about artists. Yeah. But there are songwriters. And songwriters are an essential part of music creation, whether it be film scores, songs by your faves, songs you hate, but they're stuck in your head. Yeah. Songwriters are so important, and they are, and as the industry is changing and streaming is changing and the way money is changing, the only way songwriters are making money now is off radio records, which is affecting the art, because songwriters only have a choice but to create something for radio.
Because they won't even listen to it if it doesn't sound like somebody else's song that was just a hit. Yeah.
There's problems. So I just think record labels are making more money than ever, more money than the last 25 years or whatever. And everyone in the creative process should benefit equally, I think that's fair.
I think that's fair. You're taking a trip. I've never done this, and I've always wanted to do it, but I've never taken the time. But you're taking a trip with your band to write music soon, right? Yeah. What are you gonna do? Where you're gonna go, to the outskirts of town, and y'all just hang out?
We're gonna go to the countryside, smell some leaves and hug some trees.
Yeah.
And just write. But I think being on the road has inspired me a lot. Live music is just, when you're just on the road and you're just around great musicians, you're like, wow, and I'd love to write that way.
Feeding off of it.
Yes. Yeah. I'd love to just bounce with my musicians. I love them. I trust them with my life as well, so we can like spill it out, have some deep chats, and have some fun. Yeah, I'm really excited for it.
Oh,
I need it. Yeah,
I know, it's inspiring me. I keep telling my band, like, there's so many great writers, producers, songwriters over there, and it's like we never have time. We don't make the time, and it's like, we could write incredible stuff if we just had a minute.
Just a week, just 7 days.
I know.
I heard you got, I hope it's not creepy, but I heard you got a ranch in Montana where you go to be creative.
Yes, only one has made it out so far. Only Jason's made it out so far. But when he got there, he was like, now I know why you don't want to leave.
Oh.
Yeah, no, I think you need that space. And I don't think there's anything wrong with saying, I'm so grateful for all the things,
100%.
like that I have, all the blessings. But that doesn't mean that you don't need a minute, like just to, you know, refuel.
Recharge.
Yeah. So make sure you take those moments. But y'all, give it up for just such an incredible artist, RAYE. Her album is called My 21st Century Blues. You can find it wherever you get your music.